Oh, hey there, YouTube land. What is up? Yes, we are going to do try to do a quick review. I've got almost 800 miles on the Legend Revo A heavy duty shocks. So, we're going to share with you my experience and my thoughts thus far. And stay tuned because you guys may be shocked. Alright guys, you know how we do on this channel. We do not do BS product reviews. We share my true opinions and experience. My true opinions and experiences. Okay, now granted, I've only roughly about 800 miles on the shocks. I did the install and I had set the preload so I could pull it. I set the preload for being 2 up and having the camper on. And then I went to I rode around just to see what it would feel like. I didn't have the camper on. I rode around just to see what it would feel like because a lot of people said, yeah, just set it for 2 up and whatnot and forget it. Yeah, well, that is a mistake because I set that thing for 2 up and with the camper on, and 2 up with the camper on where I had it was the height was 13 inches, and then 2 up with the camper on, it sagged an inch. Now, with just me on there, it didn't sag enough, so I don't want to eat a bunch of cupcakes and gain a bunch of weight to get it to sag enough. So what I do, I went ahead and went to adjust them. Okay, I went to adjust the preload, and I was going to calculate or keep track of how many turns it took me to get it to where, with me on there, it would give the proper preload set or whatever, so I had a nicer ride. And well, let's just say that was not a pleasant experience. I literally had to unbolt the shocks and stick them in a vise and use some tools to, use a screwdriver through the bottom eye to get that thing to turn and twist, and it just turned really hard. And that was after riding it, I don't know, maybe 20 miles. And to me, it seems like what's going on is when you're riding, all that force is going down on them threads of the preload adjuster, and it's just jamming and binding them because all the force and all the weight is being impacted upon the threads. So if you're wanting to adjust them like I want to, that's a pain in the neck, right? Now, when I experienced that, I had reached out to Legends and sent them an email. They were not open. They were closed for their normal business hours, but I sent them an email, and I will say this about Legends suspension, and it's the sole reason why I went to them. Their customer service, it's superior. I sent them an email, letting them know what I was experiencing and things of that nature. They gave me some things to try out. Now, one of the things they told me was, take and jack it up so you get the weight off, and that'll make it a little easier. Now, I'm not an idiot. I understand that you are adjusting spring tension. I get that. It's going to be stiff. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be something you're going to be able to turn real easy with 2 fingers. But I should be able to take that thing and turn it with 2 hands, right? And I couldn't do that. But they gave me some things to try and stuff like that. I have not tried those as of yet. However, if every time I need to adjust these shocks, they told me that it would, after the first time of adjust them, it would become better and a little bit easier. Now, if every time I adjust these things I have to jack it up to adjust it, that's not going to be practical for me, because we're going to be pulling the camper with it. When we pull the camper with it, that preload needs to be set a little bit higher, right? So, with that being said, I can't carry a jack with me because I want to be able to get my camper to where we're going, get set up and everything, and then set my preload back down to where it needs to be for 2-up riding, so we're not riding around super stiff and super hard. Okay? Now, I rode probably 500 miles on them with my preload set where it is now, which I think I set the total height at 12 inches. It gave me half an inch sag with me on it, half an inch sag with the wife on it, and I rode it. It's comfortable for me, right? Now, everybody says, and all the stuff that you read says to leave your rebound set on 3. So, I bought the Revo A's with the rebound adjustment on it because we're going to be pulling the camper and stuff like that. I want something that I can fine tune just a little bit more, right? So that's why I went with those. You can, if you just want to leave yours on 3 like everybody says to do, then just buy the Revos. Don't buy the Revo A's. You know, if you don't plan on adjusting them, just buy the Revos. But I wanted to be able to fine tune, and I'm glad I went the way that I went, because I rode about 500 miles with them set on 3, and, you know, my sag set where it is and everything, my preload set where it is. It's a nice ride. Is there a difference between the aftermarket and the stock? Yes. Is that difference as big of a difference as everybody makes it out to be and everybody hypes it up to be? Hell no, it is not. Okay? The big difference that I notice is cornering when you throw the bike over, because you guys know I throw bikes made to lean to turn, so I mean I get the most out of it, right? And sometimes on the stock shocks, if you weren't set up properly, yeah, that back tire would feel a little skittish, right? Or you'd notice a difference. Well, now it seems to be a little more stable and a little more responsive. Is it that big of a difference and all the hype that everybody makes out of it? Hell no, it is not. All right, I'll say that right now. It is not. The stock shocks are fine for just riding around, you know, and even going on trips and being loaded down and stuff like that. The stock, I'll say it time and time again, the stock shocks are fine. I never would have upgraded my shocks had it not been for us buying the camper. That's the whole reason why I upgraded the shocks. And I reached out several companies, and Legends was the only ones who got back to me and made a recommendation, because I made them aware of what I was going to be doing with the bike and pulling the camper and all that stuff. And they was like, no problem, here you go. Here's 3 recommendations. And their customer service, like I said, superior. Now, we will find more out about that, and we'll keep you guys updated on that stuff when I try to adjust these things again, because I want to know. I'm going to try to set them where they need to be for the camper, and me and the wife on the bike, and keep track of that, so whenever we get where we're going, I can turn them back down and adjust them, hopefully easily. Now, they did say that I can buy like one of the belt filter wrenches, you know, one of the rubber belt deals, and put that down there on it to help turn it. Okay, I can see that, because some other companies that make shocks, some other manufacturers of shocks, they send you a tool with it, a little spanner wrench, and you adjust it one click at a time. So I could see the need of a tool. I really could. But I'm telling you guys, whenever I was trying to get these things adjusted down from where I had them after riding them for like 20 miles and knew that that would be entirely too stiff, but I knew that's where it needed to be for the camper. Having to unbolt them, stick them in a vise and all that stuff, no. So if I can't figure out a way to where I can adjust these things on the road, they're going back. They're going to have to. And we'll see what the customer service is if it comes to that. I hope it doesn't come to that. And as I was saying earlier, everybody talks about the rebound, and it's not that big of a deal. Don't do this, just leave it on 3. Well, I rode roughly about 500 miles with that thing on 3. And I can tell you that it was a little too stiff for me, and that's not in the preload. It was a little too stiff for me, so I took and I turned it down to 2, and that's now giving me a little more plush of a ride, kind of like you're on a cloud, you're floating on it. I like that, you know what I mean? I want to be able to, I don't want a bump to throw me up out of the seat, but at the same time I don't want a bump to where when I hit it, it's so stiff and nothing moves. I want the movement there. I just don't want it to shock my back or bottom out. And it seems like 2 is working so far, because I did change it, and I've probably put about 400 miles on since I changed it, right close to it. 300, I take that back, 300 miles. So I do notice a difference in that. And the shocks they seem to be built pretty good, you know what I mean? And there's lifetime warranty on them. So do you need to spend $1,000 on a set of shocks for your bike? In my opinion, no. If you're just going out and you're riding 2-up and you're doing some motorcycle trips and stuff like that, you don't need to spend $1,000 on a set of shocks. You know, if you want to upgrade your shocks, you can probably buy something $400 or $500 to give you a little better ride. But as I said, I had no problems with the stock suspension. And I know the 2024s now have adjustable on the left and adjustable on the right. I know they still have the same style adjustable on the left as they had on previous years and models, but now they have the others on the right side where you can adjust that. You need the little spanner wrench, which comes with the bike when you buy the bike. So Harley has been listening. I'm not sure what that ride quality is like. I'm not sure what the adjustment and all that stuff is like on them, but I had no problems with the stock suspension. Turn the dial, yeah, you had to pull the saddlebag off. Well, guess what, with these you got to pull the saddlebag off. You know, if you want to adjust them, you're going to have to pull the saddlebag off. But it all depends on what you want to do and what you're trying to get out of it. Now, as I stated, we're trying to pull a camper. That's going to be heavy. I don't want the bike sagging. I want to be able to keep the ass end up, and hopefully with the back of the bike being up, that will help keep some of the weight on the front of the bike. I know that the bike's going to be, you know, a little bit tail heavy with me, the wife, and the camper on it. I understand that. But if the shocks will do what they're supposed to do and keep that up and keep that pressure pushing that rear tire down on the ground, separating things and even out, you know, the balance, we might be alright. That was the whole reason why I had bought them. Now, if the adjustment doesn't work out to where I can do it on the fly and not have to adjust them without having a motorcycle jack, that's not going to work for me. That's just me. I said it and I'll say it again. I can't emphasize it enough. My experience thus far with Legends customer service has been top notch. So I really want these things to work out. I really do. You know, but we'll have to see what happens. I don't notice. It's not like, for me, it's not like I could ride 300 miles on the bike and then have to get off, and now I can ride 500 miles without having to get off. No, it's about the same. You know what I mean? I can ride until I need to fill the gas tank up, get off, stretch my legs, drain my bladder, and get back on. It's the same thing. I do notice that I have a little more plush. You know, it's hard to describe it, but a little more cloud feeling or whatever. But it's not as drastic as everybody makes it out to be. I mean, everybody hypes these things up so much, and I don't understand why. There's a difference, but for just going around and riding around like this guy here's doing, it's not $1,000 difference. I can tell you that right now. It's not. So, the only way they'll be worth the money for me is if they work with the camper. You know, if they won't work with the camper and I can't adjust them, then no. But that's just my honest thoughts and my honest opinions on it. So there's a different view that I am 99.9% certain there's nobody else out there with that opinion. So, you know, let me know what you guys think about suspension. If you have Legends, let me know what you guys think about them. I don't think they're a bad product. I don't think they're a bad company. I think they're a good product. I just think they're overhyped. And it's not just Legends. I think that aftermarket suspension altogether is overhyped. That's just me and my opinion. So, like I said, leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. And hit that like button if you like this video. Share the video with your friends. And, you know, if you feel like you like this video and this type of content, stuff like that, consider hitting that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. So, ride fast, live slow. We shall see you all on the next one.